Welcome to the Wisdom Lifestyle Money Show. I'm your host, Scott Dillingham. The goal of the show is to show you how you can grow personally, financially, have a larger net worth, and leverage your largest asset to help you develop the person you want to be. I take you through all the steps I did from being nothing to being told that I was nobody and I was never going to accomplish anything, from getting kicked out of high school to owning a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio in my own company with more than 20 employees. You'll meet our partners, you'll meet our friends, and you'll quickly discover how you can improve your life. So listen in and enjoy the show. Thanks for tuning in today. I've got Tyler Souillier here with me today. Very special guest. He's a massive real estate investor in the Windsor, Essex area. He's also a full-time realtor. He's an expert at setting up joint ventures. And today he's going to go over his story, how he got into real estate, how he got started, some of his experience. And then we're going to talk about joint ventures, which ultimately a joint venture is where you can partner with us and we help you to purchase the property and we manage it and we take care of everything so you can become a hands-free landlord. So it's ideal for somebody who lacks the knowledge to invest or the time. Tyler, welcome.
Hey, no, thanks for having me, Scott. It's really good to be here, and I always love talking about real estate.
That's awesome.
Whatever this conversation takes us, real estate related, I can go on for days.
That's perfect. No, that's perfect. So yeah, I'm curious like how you got started into real estate.
Yeah, you know what? I started with working here in Windsor, Essex after school. I was 25 and joined the family business and knew I always going to a business school wanted to be my own boss. Sit me on a desk day after day, kind of got to a point where I was like, I got to do something different. How can I do something different? Came across, I remember an ebook about rent-to-owns. I remember
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
And really read through that and really, this seems pretty interesting. I could do this, but how do I get started? So actually, the only way I thought to get my foot in the door was become a realtor. So I quit my job, moved to Toronto, became a realtor.
Nice. That's awesome.
Realized being a realtor, it taught me how to learn about real estate, the different areas of neighborhoods, but to really get my foot in the door to real estate investing, which is where I wanted to get to, I really had to learn how to do it. Real estate, being a realtor in Toronto, starting out, didn't really work too well. So I ended up moving back to Windsor, an area I'm familiar with. My network's here, and ended up teaming up with an investor, realtor, who basically taught me how to get started investing in real estate. And this is now end of 2013 when I moved back. So Windsor was still pretty hit hard from the recession.
Yep.
Prices were very rock bottom and no one was buying anything back then.
Yep.
Like it was like I had properties under $50,000 that no one would even still touch. They thought it was overpriced.
Yeah, I remember my first Windsor property was around that time. It was a duplex on Irvine,
Yeah.
sorry,
Okay.
and I bought it for $84,000.
Okay, I
Which
got you
is
beat. I
crazy.
got you beat. My first was $48,000 a duplex.
Nice. Yeah, you
On
do
Windsor
have-
app. Yeah, I pitched it to every investor in my database, and everyone was going very low. And the seller finally agreed to meet me at $48,000. And the only reason I went through with this because I actually went to the bank a couple months before. Someone had told me to open up a HELOC, so that's a home equity line of credit. And I was like, so I had that open, and I thought, okay, here's what I need to borrow.
Yeah.
Here's the interest I'm going to pay on it. I'm going to flip it. The renovations were only 30 grand. And after 6 months, after I renovated it, flipped it, I put 30 grand in my pocket, paid back what I borrowed. I thought this seems very simple when you just break it down to the numbers side, right?
Yeah.
Here's your sale. Here's what you purchased for. Here's your renovations. Here's the interest on what you borrowed.
Yeah.
And then whatever's left is your profit, right?
Yeah. So that's actually known as the BRRRR strategy. Ultimately.
Basically. So I didn't burr that one. I flipped it.
Okay.
And it's funny. So when I had it sold, a buddy of mine told me, why don't you keep those and refinance it? And I go, what's refinance mean?
Yeah.
So here I am with an MBA, and I don't even know what refinance means. And that's a whole other topic we can get into about the school system. Right? They don't teach you the days and numbers of finance.
They don't.
But so I was like, okay, let's try that. And I was hesitant because I didn't want tenants. That's what everyone said. Tenants are terrible. Like you don't want to get stuck tenants. They don't pay the rent. They destroy your property.
Yeah.
But it's just the same idea. You just factor those kind of risks, those costs, vacancies into your numbers when you're analyzing a property, when you're going to have a long-term rental.
Yep, that's it. And I find too with tenants, because I always hear those nightmare stories. And
Yes.
from the financing standpoint, I see people that I didn't originally help that went somewhere else. and now they're selling the property or downsizing their portfolio. And I find the number one issue is that people try to manage all their properties. I use professional management. So those tenant issues go out the window.
Yeah, and I learned that after about a year of after I built up a portfolio of doing the BRRRR strategy. That after I think about 3 properties, I was like, this is a lot. And then I got to about 6 and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And went and found a property management company. And from the start, I tell people now who are investing, just get a management company.
Yeah, even on the first property, because people, if they have a bad tenant, they're going to have a sour taste in their mouth. And really, it's probably only a bad tenant because they lack the experience to put a good tenant in the property.
And that's a whole nother skill set of trying to learn in time and management. I had my wife doing it for a bit for me.
That's awesome.
And the amount of time she put in to just screening people and trying to find someone good for a property was like, it's much better to have someone that's got a system in place that can screen them better to do that. So pay them to do it. It's so much more worth it.
Yeah, and they're not much money for a property manager.
No, it's honestly, you're between 5 to 7% charge per door. And let's say it's max $100 a month you might pay. What's your time worth? One headache, a text at 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday night after coming home from dinner is going to just ruin your whole night. It's not worth the time.
No, it's true. Just as an example, just to elaborate on this, I had a little bit of water from one of the recent rains in the basement. It wasn't much. It was about an inch. I was in Niagara Falls with my family, just a little mini vacation. And the property manager texts me, says there's a little bit of water. We're sending somebody out to take care of it, and we'll talk later. And I'm like, great. So that could have ruined someone's week, really. And for me, it was just a simple email, and that was it. And it's all taken care of.
Yeah, it's just hands off. That's where I always wanted to be when I started this. From that first flip to then I just went on a rampage in my first year. So all of 2014, I ended up buying, I think, I always get the number mixed up. It's been a while. About 15 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, some I flipped, some I renovated, refinanced. And then that next year, I remember I won the Crew Investor of the Year award.
Yep.
It was recognized. My wife told me to submit my application. Like, why don't you see if you could not win this award? You know, it comes out of this. And I went to this big event in Toronto and I was like shocked. So it was cool to be recognized for all the hard work I did. And to be honest, it was a lot of hard work. Like it is a lot. And so after that, I was like, I got to slow down here. You start getting capped on lending. I used lenders. I used private lenders. I used HELOCs. I was using visas to like pay for renovations. So I really went all in. But all that hard work has now paid off to where I am today.
For sure. No, and that's incredible. And it's funny about the award, too, because I was there for Mortgage Advisor, but multiple years after you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's funny, but that's a great, I don't know if they're doing the seminars now with COVID, but they had them and hundreds of people would go to those.
Oh, it was a really neat event. I met a lot of investors. It was just cool to be with like-minded individuals and going to those conferences. That's what I did in the beginning as well, just to really learn as much as I could. And I thought those were the best in terms of how to learn more about investing in real estate.
Absolutely. And I know like here in Windsor, there's not many conferences like that. We do actually host them. So if you're interested in coming to an event or a seminar about investing or anything, actually, we're going to have multiple topics. Someone listening today, you can actually come to an event and we'll have it advertised online so they can see that. And actually, I'm sure Tyler will be at some of them when we talk about joint ventures, which we actually have to take a quick break right now. But when we come back, he's going to go into joint ventures, what they are, the details, profits, all that good stuff. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll be right back after this quick break. Okay, welcome back. So Tyler and I were discussing over the break that he's going to continue with sort of his story.
Right.
And then we're going to touch on the joint ventures, how they work and the benefits and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I think we left off with really the conferences. So that was the big thing that really pushed, and it pushes you because you're sitting there next to these people who have done stuff. And you could read all you want, educate all yourself you want, but unless you have something to really push you over that ledge to, hey, I'm going to do this. Yeah, that being around other people that have done it, that kind of gets you going. So that's really what got me really to buy my first property. I sat there and looked at properties for 6 months. Finally, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So so after that first year, it was more or less like we talked about, found a property management company. And I remember I gave him one property and it went so well, I was going to roll it over for a year. Here, take another one. I was like, just take them all.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like, you can have them all.
Yeah.
And the tenants, I think after 2 months, they stopped messaging me because I just stopped answering them. And the headaches stopped. And after over time, so that was around 2015, I just slowly started buying not as many properties, property here, property there.
Yep.
And like most investors, you start running out of capital to buy these. 20% down, it can add up, especially as prices are going up. So you start looking to other avenues. Private lending's one, joint ventures could be another one. And that's what led me to start doing a couple more of those. And yeah, that's just a great way to really, when you start wondering how else can I build my portfolio.
Yeah, no, I agree. So the privates, I haven't personally had to use one, but a lot of investors are using it. And the one thing that I would say to any client getting a private is don't look at the interest rate, because some people look at it and they're scared.
They do.
I think with a private, you need to factor in the interest rate, but then look at the profit and say, does this make sense? And if you're still going to profit, then what's just the cost of business? It's a write-off, and you just move forward.
I rarely looked at the interest rate, because you're just going to factor that into your analysis. And if it's, as long as you're not long term at 15% with a private lender, which most are only 1 to 2 years max, you're still judging that into your cost anyway.
Yep. And our private lenders, we try not to use the expensive ones. Ours are 7 to 8%.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
So,
I wish I had that back in 2015 when I was using private lender. Yeah.
For sure. So it's definitely cheaper. But for someone who's a homeowner that wants to get into investing, you have to. Private is not the first thing you get, but you just have to know, like, there
are options.
There's options. It could be more money.
As an investor, that's the greatest thing, is having those other options. Because most when I started, it was like you go to the bank and where's your down payment.
Yeah.
And then as you start learning more, you're like, wow, there's different options. And then and then the joint venture side, like I learned a ton about it. I did conferences in Toronto, trying to learn more how to structure them, how they can run efficiently. And now it's just very simple process. Everything is very turnkey. The one I recently did was, he was like, that was, when it was all said and done, he was like, that was so easy. Like, what do I do now? I'm like, nothing.
No, that's incredible.
Unless you won't hear from me unless the building's on fire.
That's it.
So it's very hands-off for the investor. He was happy. I'm happy. It just runs so smoothly now because I've had the years and years of experience
of doing it,
investing in real estate, that anything that comes to me, just like you, Scott, it doesn't really phase you. Whereas a new investor, it might just be like, oh my God, my basement flooded. Oh my God, you're freaking out. Where you're like, no, quick phone call, management company, it's fixed. Yeah. The bill is crap, but that's just part of real estate investing. You just factor that into your maintenance and long-term thinking. Don't think, oh, I got a $3,000 bill. My cash flow for the year is gone. Yeah. Over 10 years with appreciation, mortgage pay down.
It's well worth
it. You already know your return is going to be there. And it's going to be much better than investing mostly anywhere else right now, and less volatile.
No, I fully agree. For somebody listening for the very first time, and maybe they haven't even heard the term joint venture, do you want to elaborate on what a joint venture is?
Yeah, it's more or less just partnering with somebody 50-50, or however you want to structure the split. That's up to you and your partner. Yep. And really, it's just, in my terms, it was like I had capital, or in some instances I didn't have any capital. Yep. So I would partner with somebody who had the capital, and they also had access to financing, and we'd go partnership on the property. I bring the experience, the structures, the analysis, find the properties for them, and they're mostly a private silent money investor. So we team up in that aspect because they don't have the time to do this. They don't know what they're doing. The last partner I had, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's real estate. Yeah. So he's like, I would love to partner with you. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And even the one before that, it was the same idea. Yeah. She had no idea about real estate, but I just brought her a property that was like, you do not want to pass this up. Yep. This is a great property. Here are the numbers. Broke it down, a nice analysis, a nice little summary of what we want to do. And it was just a long-term hold. And that's usually how I structure my partnerships. Usually long-term hold, right? Okay. 5 years kind of minimum, unless there's a really good, say, opportunity where there's maybe a flip. I like the long-term rentals. That's where you build the most wealth.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But behind the scenes, within our investing club, Tyler and I will set up joint ventures for people. So what Tyler is really good at, and he touched on it, he's good at finding that perfect property. So you don't need to look at 10, 20 properties when you work with myself or Tyler. Tyler will just say, here's the one. Yeah. And you just jump on it.
So that's it, honestly. Yep. I vet them. I'll go look at some, and if I found it's not the right property or the price is too high, I've learned after that first year, I was buying everything to not force the numbers. Yeah. So if I'm in a bidding war, which I just recently was, this was my number. And I wasn't emotionally attached to it. I said, I was like, this is it. And when the realtor called back and was like, yeah, you got the property, I was happy with the price I paid because it met all the parameters that I look for, factoring on all those like costs that you don't see unless they occur. Your maintenance, your vacancies. So I was like very happy with it. And I always have set benchmarks that I like to meet for my return.
Yep, and that's perfect. And Tyler also said there's pretty much 3 ways to do joint ventures, but we only help with 2 of the 3 ways. So the 3 ways is you lack the time to invest, you lack the knowledge to invest, or you're looking for capital. Right. So we provide the mortgages at LendCity. So we'll help you with that, but you've got to have your down payment. But the partnerships that we set up is for the people that don't have the time or the knowledge. We're looking for the people with the capital to grow and utilize our unique.
And the other thing about the knowledge part is like, I'm born and raised in Windsor, Essex County.
Yeah.
You're from Windsor, and we just know this market. So it's just for a lot of people looking at Windsor now, because it's like they're priced out of these, the GTA. Like like I talk to investors, they're all like, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So they're looking here, and they've been looking here since I started. And more every year I hear like more and more investors are coming down, and it's, I already know the market. So it's very easy for someone looking out, oh, I'd love to get into Windsor, but I don't know it. So we know it.
Yep. And there's people, so this show is going to air on the radio, of course, on AM 800. You're listening to it now, but we aired on a podcast. So we're potentially going to have listeners from all over Canada.
Okay.
So for the joint venture partners, I want you to know, like, we can help anybody in Canada that's buying in Windsor.
Yeah.
So
we know this market. So it's very good to know what to buy and what not to buy.
Yep, exactly. No, that's great. So just to recap, Tyler and I combined, so I'll help on the financing side to make sure you're getting the best rates, the best terms for investors. That's what we do. For my years of experience in mortgages, it's all been with investors. Yeah. We help on that end, and Tyler goes out, finds the property. He will give you, I believe, a monthly expense showing, or income or expense, or is it monthly or annually
I'm a spreadsheet guy, so I've got a great breakdown on projections of what you make over 5-10 years, monthly costs. Like it's all very summarized, and I got the team behind me that it makes the process very smooth for the partner.
That's awesome. And then we also have professional property management that we use for every one of these that we set up. And within that, you get our team of, if you want to know who a lawyer is that you should use, an accountant, like all that stuff. We have the whole team lined up.
And I've learned to just use, it's so much easier when I can use the people that I use. It just makes it way smoother than going to another lawyer that doesn't understand what we're trying to do.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Because, you're right. If they don't know the area, plus if, say you're in Vancouver and they're trying to purchase here, if we're using a Vancouver lawyer, it could delay the deal.
It does. And same with the financing aspect. With you right here in the background, working with the buyers, it is much easier that way.
No, that's perfect. So to join the club, we actually have a 2-week free trial, so it's 100% risk-free, and then we're $29.95 a month after that. But to join, to get access to Tyler and the joint ventures and the investing courses that we do within the club, just go to invest.lendcity.ca, and then once you're in there, we'll do your pre-approval, we'll determine your maximum purchase price, and then we'll partner with Tyler and we'll find you a home.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks so much for coming today, Tyler, and for the listeners as well, for your time, and everybody have a great day.
Yeah, thanks very much.
If you're serious about real estate investing and you want to take it to the next level with the least amount of time and mistakes, then you're going to want to sign up for our Real Estate Investor Hub. Visit CanadianRealEstateNetwork.com and hit the blue button or banner that says Free Investor Resources. Inside, you'll have access to real estate investing courses, networking opportunities, webinars featuring industry professionals, as well as dedicated chat channels to share and get access to unique properties. I look forward to seeing you there.